You're on.
Okay, today, the Lord gave me a dream last night about, I went to the White House and I was walking around in some of the rooms of the White House, and President Obama was there, and I was trying to make some kind of an official speech to him about how proud I was to be there and how grateful I was to be invited, and just a lot of things like that. And he was like, who cares? I mean, he was sitting back in his chair and looking at, because I was talking about, wow, this is the rooms the same rooms that George Washington walked in, and you could look up and you could see the old type of materials that were used, and some of the places where there was like a wooden type ceiling in this one particular room that had like a round, and I've never been in the White House. I have no idea what it looks like in there. I haven't even seen any pictures of it inside the White House, except for extended view pictures and stuff like that. But this was like a close-up. It was like, these rooms look kind of small to me to be in the White House. I don't know if there is any small rooms in the White House. But I was thinking, all the presidents, I even said it in the dream, I said that this is the place. I said, every president that we have ever had has walked into these rooms. And Obama was nonchalant, like he didn't care. Like, what, this means nothing to me. Sitting down the whole time, like he really don't care. And I thought to myself, well, when I woke up, I thought to myself, well, an outsider would look at it like this. He doesn't really care about our culture, because he was raised actually as a Muslim, and he referred to that several times. His dad was a Muslim. His dad wrote a book. You need to read about this book that his dad wrote. It's communist to the core, and it's of the Muslim faith, and which is almost the same thing as communism. They rule with an iron fist, just like the communists do. So it's a culture in which has no identity with the culture that we have here. Non-Christian, non-freedom, don't care about what your personal agenda is. It's what we think that you need that counts. So I can understand why he's had the policies. And with Obama, they're saying that he has written another 200 or 300 executive orders in the past couple of months, trying to enforce. He just don't seem to get it. Those executive orders can be unsigned as easily as they are signed. And this is what I'm talking about. See, when we put something in place, it's written into our law and is not easily overturned. But the way that Obama sees things is that it's one man's decision from the top down. We don't. You see, he's still leaving. They're acting like we're the ones that's supposed to come to them and work with them. Work with them how? The only option that we have here to work with them is just to obey the executive orders that he writes. We don't have any other option. Work with them how? You know what I'm saying? So he has no respect for our culture. The mere fact that he has written thousands of executive orders. I'm going to look that up one day and see exactly how many executive orders he has written. But the mere fact that he has written thousands of executive orders is proof to the fact that he has no respect for our culture. Has double zero respect for our culture. None, because our culture is about the people. Our culture is not about the executive orders of what he thinks is right only. He has no respect for who we are. God was certainly right. I have the Washington Times article written here by Daniel Pipes. It says, editor's note, of course, first of all, because this is a liberal paper, okay? In this third 5-part series, Middle East and Islam, specialist Daniel Pipes continues his documentation of Barack Obama's close ties to the Islamic religion, focusing here on statements he has made as an adult. And I'll try to leave a link on here to this, okay, so you can go back and read it. Maybe get to the other 4 parts. Well, there's 2 more to come, but the other parts. And he states in several statements by Barack Obama in recent years point to his Muslim childhood. And you know what? I remember a news article where Obama, see, now he's pretending to be Christian. He has, but you got to remember, it's not wrong for a Muslim to lie. If he can deceive his enemy by lying, they believe that it's okay. But in this news article, I mean, he was making some kind of speech to the United States, and he says, my Muslim faith. And then he thought about it quickly and says, I mean my Christian faith. No, he meant Muslim faith. Because all this time he has pretended to be Christian, so he can draw the votes. See, if it's not wrong if you can deceive your enemy. It's not wrong. You know, I'm saying this. You know, I can't believe there are so many gullible people in the United States of America. There's black folks following him around, Christian black folks following him around just because he's black, thinking, oh, this guy's black, he must be going to do me good. He has done absolutely nothing for the black population of America. He has done absolutely nothing. He's got more of them on welfare than ever, unless you think that's a favor to you. He's got more of them on welfare, an unsustainable way of living that does not meet all the needs of these people. You could go down, truthfully, you could go down to the restaurant and get a job making $8 an hour that would more than likely do just as much for you as welfare. It's a place where you enter in. It's a beginning status. Welfare was never meant to sustain you for a long period of time. Was never meant. And there's people in our culture today that has lived on welfare from the time they've been born, and they're approaching 50 years old now. Some of them are older than that. 50, 60 years they've lived on nothing but welfare. Well, what do you think they're going to think? You know, when here comes a president and says, we're going to cut welfare. They go, there goes my way of life. I'm doomed. No, you're not doomed. You're not doomed. And you know what, man? I don't think that President Trump is going to just cut. Jesus, take the wheel. President Trump is not going to just cut benefits, but he's going to make sure that there's jobs out there for people to sustain themselves in a greater fashion before he decides to take people off of welfare, or before he does that. Now, this is what Obama did, okay? 300,000 or 400,000 jobs in the coal mines in this country. Obama just cut them off. No sustainable way other than welfare. No other sustainable way to people that are used to making $1,000 a week, $700, $800, $900 $1,000 a week, he just cuts them off. Do you know how devastating that is, getting used to living in that kind of standard of living, and then all of a sudden just cut you off? Cut you off. Well, you know, his statement, I remember one of his statements about that was, you can depend on coal if you want to, but it's gonna hurt because I'm doing away with coal. That was his statement. That he was cold-hearted, so cold-hearted. See, he has no idea about what our culture is about. But yet the media was content to show him compassionately with a lady of Hurricane Sandy, all wrapped up in tears with her. 2 years later, this woman still had received no help. And as far as I know today, she still hasn't received any help. Okay? So, and that's what I'm talking about. Has no, and these communists like George Soros behind the liberal movement of this country today, behind people like this that have no idea what our culture is about. Let's put this guy in because he's stupid. He don't know what we're about. America's about. We can use him, put him as the pinpoint, cause him to look like he's something really good. We'll pay the media off to get behind us and to try to push this thing through, and we'll destroy America at its roots. The old saying was, America, if it was ever destroyed, would have to be destroyed from within. And communists began to work on that as soon as they heard that 50, 60, 70 years ago. And right here's another. It says Obama has just banned, you know, this thing about the American flag and the degradation to our culture that has come along. And by the way, it is illegal to destroy the American flag in an improper, not unpopular, it's in a devastating manner, you know, unfashionable manner. It's illegal to do that with jail time extended to it. And I know what the liberal Supreme Court has said, but it's still wrong. It's still wrong, and it's degrading to our society. There needs to be some things, some few things in our country that there should be laws against, because of people crossing over this line, simply because, you know, like the Ten Commandments God has set in place. Just a few things. Don't cross over these lines, because that shows the standard of where your heart is as far as God is concerned. These laws show where the standard of where we are as America is concerned. Sure. Obama shows the standard that he is by the things that he's done with our culture, and with the things that we brother, you know, my computer's trying to go haywire. By the things that he showed, brother, my computer's trying to lock up. By the things that he has shown as not having any respect for our culture. He has shown where his heart is. Amen. Jiminy crickets.
Honey.
Do you want to proceed? Yes. Come on. Oh my goodness. You know, the devil hates it when I hit a nail around the head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
This is what it says. Anyways, I'm gonna quit and try to deal with this. All right, God bless you. Thank you for joining me. See you next time. Another great message, Cross in the Middle Ministry.